So commitment 6 is to develop your relationship to yourself. Cultivate acceptance. I've made a video about acceptance, so check that out. Cultivate the habit of acknowledging your achievements, not just your mistakes or shortcomings. Okay? Cultivate self-compassion. Cultivate forgiveness. One of the things I realised when I had ME/CFS is that I really wasn't very good at forgiving myself. And I'd noticed a lot of tension in my neck and shoulders in particular, and there's an exercise I would do, and it helped me identify that I was actually holding in a lot of frustration and anger towards myself. Okay, sometimes I displaced that anger. I kind of was seemingly angry with other people, but what I realized is actually I was really angry with myself. Okay, and the other thing to cultivate is your intuition. People often ignore their intuition. I've worked with lots of people who said they were told by someone to do, they've done some program, they've been told to do certain things, and for instance, one client was told, okay, you've done this training program, now behave like a normal, healthy person. So he went running, he went swimming, and he ended up completely bedbound. Okay, and actually, what he should have been asked is, for instance, what score would you give your physical health out of 10? If he'd said I'm a 9 or a 10, then it would be reasonable for him to do those things. But actually, he said, actually at the time, I was probably about a 5 or a 6. And by pushing myself too hard, I ended up being about a 2. Okay, so trust your intuition. Okay, practice listening to your intuition. Okay, and acting on it. It doesn't matter, what expert you're talking to. You just got to check in with yourself. Does that feel right for me? Okay, I know when I had ME/CFS, I went to King's Hospital, and one of the things they suggested is that I took Prozac, and I knew intuitively that just wasn't right for me. And actually, I actually did some research. I put a post in one of the ME groups asking for people's experience of Prozac, and a third of people said they were on it and they found it helpful. 2/3 of the people said they didn't find it helpful and had to come off it because of the side effects. So, that was just the feedback that I got, but, that's just reinforced my view that wasn't an option for me. Okay, Yana's saying so true. That you are welcome. Okay, so commitment 7, identify the roadblocks. Okay, so we've touched on this in that exercise we've just done, but consider what are the things that you can influence, what are the things you can't influence. Okay, so if you've identified those things, again, you can write a list. What are the things that are going on in my life that, at the moment we can't influence the fact that COVID's an issue and we might have lockdown or whatever, but there are still things I can influence. Okay, so focus on the things that you can influence. So for instance, again, another exercise related to the last one is to do an audit of the stresses, both external and internal. Okay, so if I look at that list that I wrote, certain people cause me to generate stress. Also, my anxiety was a factor, the fact that I kept booming and busting. Okay, so once we've identified those things that are getting in the way, then the 8th commitment is to create a plan and implement it. So if I talk about those issues, if I'm thinking about, that challenging person, I might set boundaries. There was one person who I said, actually, I'm not going to talk about my health anymore because it only ends up in an argument. And I know this person was trying to help, but it just wasn't very useful. With someone else, I just had to say, look, I don't think we can have contact at the moment because it wasn't a healthy relationship. For instance, with the anxiety, I kept looking for solutions for beating anxiety, and I read books, I tried different courses until I found the thing that really worked for me. Okay, and if anxiety is an issue, I really want to, emphasize the point. I do believe it's possible to overcome it. I've seen many people address their anxiety. I'm working with someone at the moment who's saying, I'm having whole days and consecutive days of feeling relaxed. Okay, so it is possible to overcome that issue. Boom and bust, if that's an issue, then I have made a training on how to beat boom and bust. Send me a private message and I'll send you the link to that video. Okay. And the point about creating a plan and implementing is that people often have great ideas, great insights, great intuitions, but we often don't follow through on them. And people can get caught up in what is known as shiny object syndrome. This is a marketing term where marketers learning to build their business, they see some advert about one tool or training and they try that, they buy that, they do it for a bit, then they discard it, they go on to the next thing. And that can happen as well with ME/CFS. Now I think it's good to keep learning, but it's really important to keep working on something until you've developed some level of unconscious competence. Okay, I remember one entrepreneur saying, in the old days you'd follow one master and you'd learn everything from them. Now we've got more options, and it's great that we've got more options, but what I see is that sometimes I work with people who I call expert patients. They've done every program, they've done more, they probably know more about this program, that program, and the other than I do. But what's evident from talking to them for half an hour, sometimes even 5 minutes, is they're still running really unhelpful patterns that they could have addressed if they'd really, kept working using the tools that they've learned. And sometimes people get caught up in the quick fix. What is the quick fix? If there is a quick fix, we'll find out about it, because it'll, everyone will be talking about it. But sometimes we have to just keep doing the work. And I made a video actually about this, that sometimes the changes happening below are unconscious. There's a chap, I think I've got his book on my shelf, called Peter Drucker, and he says we've got to learn to love the plateau. Okay, so we keep working regardless, because at some point we'll make a breakthrough, and that is certainly something I experienced when I was learning brain training techniques. I made progress, then I plateaued, and sometimes I plateaued for quite a while, but I kept at it, and I questioned myself at times, but then I made a breakthrough. Okay. Tim Ferriss, who's another entrepreneur, says if we want results, we need routine. So it's really important to cultivate good habits. So make a plan, implement it. Someone in the group said, meditate daily, learn mindfulness, practice breathing. Okay, these techniques will be your best friends, and I like that. Okay, someone else said observe circadian rhythm. So get adequate sunshine daily. So have a routine. I aim to get up in the morning now and get up, check my appointments, make a drink and do exercise first thing. I used to spend time lying in bed scrolling on Facebook. Mostly I don't do that now. I've got a good morning routine. Similarly, have a good bedtime routine. Have good daily routines. Think about your rhythm. So sometimes I chat to people. We do this quick audit where we're looking at their day routine, and what's happening is they're on the go all day and then they crash, let's say at 4 PM or whatever, and they're completely knocked out for a couple of hours. Okay, an alternative to that is to have a routine that looks a bit more like this. So we have activity, but then we have a little break. Okay? And this is not a permanent thing, it's just a temporary thing to help you build your energy. And when your energy builds, then actually you don't need to have these breaks, or you might just have smaller breaks. And then even smaller. Okay? And more time for activity. Consider what habits you can cultivate around nutrition. There's obviously lots of conflicting information about what's the best diet. I have got a guide called the 5 Fundamentals Guide where I talk about some really simple things you can do. Again, if you'd like a copy of that, send me a message, say I'd like the 5 Fundamentals Guide, and I'll send that to you. Okay, so 9th commitment. Commit to the growth mindset. So the growth mindset is very different to the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset says, I can't change, nothing will help. Whereas the growth mindset says, I can learn, okay? I'm going to keep working on this until I develop skills in this area. Excuse me. So keep working on your personal development. When I train people, I say, allow yourself to be a learner, okay? There's another entrepreneur and coach called Brian Johnson, and he talks about making a 1% improvement each day. And if we do just that, that is going to build, okay? So a few questions that are really useful to ask, okay? What can I learn from today? What didn't go the way I would have liked it to go? What could I do differently tomorrow? And what can I practice daily to embed the new desirable behaviour? Okay, so, getting to the end of the year, and normally I do a session on reviewing the year, thinking about what your achievements are, what are your opportunities for growth, what are the highlights, etc. And obviously often at the beginning of the year people make resolutions. So we do that at the end of the year, we reflect, and at the beginning of the year we set these resolutions. What if we did that every day? Or maybe not 365 days of the year, you could have a few days off, but what if you did that on a more consistent daily basis though? To just think about, okay, what little improvement could I make today based on my experience of yesterday? As I mentioned, I used to wake up scrolling on Facebook, and I've just got into the habit of getting up, doing some exercise. And I was chatting to a client yesterday who said he scrolls on YouTube for an hour or two sometimes in the morning. And I said to him, look, what do you want your day to look like? That's a lot of time that you could be doing other things. And his wheels started turning, saying, actually, yeah, I used to be very sporty, and there are things that I would like to get back to. I could use some of that time. Okay, so the 10th commitment is to feed your soul. To think about what would be good for you to do on a regular basis, perhaps daily, to feed your soul or your spirit. Find something that you can do that brings you joy, pleasure, fun, that you can manage. I was chatting to someone and they were saying, I like drawing. And I said, well, could you just do some drawing for 1 minute or 30 seconds and just do that every day? Okay, so it doesn't, sometimes we think, I have to, there's no point unless I do it for half an hour. I can't manage half an hour. What can you manage? Okay, so consider what you need in terms of connection, fun, laughter, mental stimulation, inspiration, music. Might be watching something on YouTube. I like to watch stuff that makes me laugh. Might be a bit of food that feeds your soul. Okay, so think about that. What is going to feed your soul on a regular basis? Okay, because doing those things that bring us a bit of joy, kind of take us into that experience of being present in the moment, can actually create feelings of relaxation, and that can boost your energy. The feelings of pleasure, enjoyment can actually be good for us and our energy. As I say, if you would like a cheat sheet which summarizes those 10 commitments and gives you a few pointers and reminders, pop the word cheat in the chat, and when it's ready, I will send you the link to that cheat sheet. I honestly wish I'd had something like that when I had ME/CFS, because it would have just helped me think about what are the things I can do on a daily basis. And as I said at the beginning, you don't have to do all of them. You could just choose one to start with. And when you've got that down, you can move on to the next thing. So, any comments, pop them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll end with a very brief relaxation. Martina says, I missed the beginning, but it sounds like I'm on a good path mainly. Though sometimes I fall back into watching Netflix a bit too much. I know that one, Martina. Shirley says, thanks. You are welcome. If you're not in my group, do click that button on my Facebook page to join the group. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can click the link below. So we'll finish with a brief relaxation. Okay, so what I'd like you to do, as long as it's safe for you to do so, is to close your eyes. Obviously, don't close your eyes if it's not safe to do so. And I'd like you just to ensure that you're sitting comfortably. Ensure that your hands and feet are in a comfortable position. You can adjust your posture whenever you choose. Just ensure you're comfortable. And just bring your awareness to your breath, just noticing your chest rise as you breathe in and your chest fall as you breathe out. As you breathe in, just breathing in the air that is oxygenating your body. As you breathe out, just letting go of anything that you choose to let go of. Take another breath in. As you breathe in, just notice your chest rising. As you breathe out, just allow your mind and body to relax. Once more, just taking a breath in. As you breathe out, just allowing your mind, body to relax, soften and let go. Just bring your awareness now to anything you'd see if your eyes were open. Be aware of your surroundings, the colours, the shapes, the textures around you. And now just bring your awareness to any sounds that you can hear other than the sound of my voice. Sounds that come and go. There may be sounds in the distance. Background music. You can just let those sounds wash over you as you now imagine taking yourself in your mind's eye to a place for you that is really relaxing. I'd like you to consider in this place, you can just let go, take in your surroundings. As you just make yourself comfortable in this place, I'd like you to consider that you have an amazing capacity to make change. You can choose to look at things in a certain way. You can spend time asking yourself the question, right now, what do I need? Might be that you just want some human connection, and you can think about what are some ways of doing that. Nowadays with the internet there are endless opportunities to find ways of connecting with other people. Might be you just need some heartwarming film or funny program to watch just to lighten your spirits and to give yourself a laugh. You may have come across some people with whom you'd like to cultivate friendship. You can consider some ways of doing that. I'd like you to consider that you have the capacity for getting to know yourself better, identifying what works for you, learning from your experiences, learning from experiences where things have gone well, learning from experiences where things haven't quite gone the way you'd like it to. You can practice doing visualization, seeing yourself responding in the way you'd like, and doing this every day for 30 days, maybe when you go to bed, or maybe at another time, but at a similar time in the day, to just get that habit familiar. So you can get to know your mind, your body, your emotions, your energy. You can get to know what works for you. You can develop those attributes that you know are useful for you. You can cultivate self-acceptance, compassion, forgiveness, trust in yourself. You have amazing capacity to identify sticking points and exploring solutions, and then implementing those solutions, creating a plan. It can be a simple plan. I remember one mentor saying to me, having a simple plan is better than having no plan at all. You can decide to keep working at something. If you know something is useful, but it just takes practice, you can work at it. And as I mentioned, we can learn to love the plateau. Keep working on something, knowing at some point we'll make a breakthrough. You can commit to that growth mindset allowing yourself to be a learner, to continually learn and grow by reflecting on your day, asking yourself, what can I learn from today? What could I do differently tomorrow? What can I practice daily to embed the new behaviour? So what I'd like you to do is, knowing that you can return to this place whenever you choose, I'd like you to take your time to bring yourself back. Or if you're resting, you can just allow yourself to carry on resting. As I say, if you'd like the cheat sheet, if you're watching on Facebook, comment and tag me with the word cheat. If you're watching on YouTube, click the link below to access the 10 commitments cheat sheet. But for now, I'll say thanks for watching. Wishing you great health. I hope you have a good festive break, and wishing you all the best for 2022. Bye for now.